Imagine living in a world where most everything looks red. Welcome to Mars, also known as the red planet. The ground looks reddish in color, and the sky looks pink. That's because a chemical in the soil has turned everything rusty, and strong winds can kick up the soil into the air, making the sky look pink. The chemical is called iron oxide, and it's the same chemical that can turn an old car rusty if it's left out in the rain for a long time. If we landed on Mars, we would need a special spacesuit to protect us from the cold. That's because Mars is much farther away from the sun than the Earth. Even in the fastest spaceship, it would take 8 months to travel from Earth to Mars. So special probes have been sent to Mars that landed, sampled the rusty soil, and took some great photographs. Mars is interesting, but no life was found. Still, we keep investigating the red planet, sending probes, landers, and someday maybe even astronauts to explore Mars up close. Many of you have probably played with remote control cars. Well, scientists like them too. This rover isn't that different from a remote control car. It can turn left and right and can roll right over small rocks. Difference is, this mini rover was built to explore asteroids. This rover is called the Sojourner, and it was used to explore Mars. Unlike humans, Sojourner didn't mind the cold and didn't need air to breathe. Its job was to test the soil and study Martian rocks. NASA scientists on Earth controlled Sojourner using lots of special computers. What will they think of next? Well, so far, we've visited Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Scientists call these the inner planets. They are all rocky, solid, and similar in size. So far, Earth is the only planet that supports life. But our journey's not over yet. Some of the most mysterious planets are yet to come.
Mission Control to Space Shuttle Columbia. Be careful, because the trip's going to get a bit rocky. Before you reach the next planet, you have to pass through the asteroid belt.
Asteroids are like tiny rocky planets, although they're not perfectly round. Many are big enough that we could land on them if we wanted to. About 1 million asteroids are orbiting the sun between Mars and Jupiter. Once we make our way past the asteroids, we're now a long, long way from the sun and about to approach the outer planets, which are very different from the inner planets. The first of the outer planets is Jupiter, and it's the biggest of all the planets in our solar system. If we tried to visit Jupiter in person, we'd have major problems. First of all, we wouldn't be able to land a spaceship on it because Jupiter is a gaseous planet. That means there's no solid ground to land on. Secondly, Jupiter has some of the most violent weather in the solar system. This circle is actually a gigantic windstorm. It's called the Great Red Spot. Scientists have learned it's a storm 3 times the size of Earth. Much windier than any storm Earth has ever experienced. The next outer planet is Saturn, the 6th planet from the Sun. It is another huge gaseous planet and one of the most beautiful in the solar system, best known for its incredible rings. From a distance, the rings look solid, but they're really made up of billions of rocks and icy chunks like snowballs. Some are the size of snowballs that you play with, but others are as big as a house. Saturn is very far away from Earth. If we hopped on a space shuttle, it would take us 6 years to get there. And once we got there, we would have to be careful not to run into one of its 21 moons. Saturn has the most moons of any planet. So many, in fact, that they cause the planet's rings.
How do Saturn's moons cause its rings? Let's investigate. You'll need a record player, an old record, 2 or 3 pencils, tape, sugar, and a small plastic card. Tape the pencils together. Make sure that their points are even. Evenly cover the surface of the record with sugar. Be careful, this can get messy. Smooth out the sugar with the plastic card. Now, slowly lower the points of the pencils straight down to the record. Notice how the pencil points push the sugar to the side and form cleared paths? This is how Saturn's moons move through the huge cloud of rocks and ice chunks, push the material aside, and form separate rings.